Okay, so let's draw a map of structures that are designed to prevent shoreline erosion. So the first thing I'm going to put in here is the shoreline, and it's going to be a fairly straight shoreline across like this, except at one place where there's going to be an inlet into a bay. I'll label that in a minute. Then it's just going to continue on like that. So one of the things we want to do here is we want to put in how the waves are coming in here so we know what the longshore current and beach drift is going to be like. So I'm going to use blue to do that. And I'm going to make these wave fronts, which we'll call them, at some angle. They're not going to come in right exactly parallel to the shoreline, but they're going to be at some angle to the shoreline. So I'll kind of have them come in like that. I'm going to go back. This is our bay. Put in the bay. This is our shoreline, and in blue here, this is our wavefronts. And I'll just put in a few more of those. They're all going to be somewhat parallel to each other, evenly spaced. That's going to be the wavelength. And we can kind of think about these as where either the crest or the trough of the wave is, showing how far apart they are. So the waves are coming in this direction here, which means that the energy from the waves is going to be perpendicular to that. It's going to be coming in at a right angle like that, or that. And that means that movement of sand along the beach is first going to be pushed up in that exact same direction. So the beach sand is going to be pushed up in this direction. But then once the wave goes out, it's just going to roll down the steepest part of the beach, which is probably parallel to the shoreline here. And then it's going to happen again, come down, go up, come down. And this zigzag pattern like this, we might see it as a beach ball that's getting pushed down the beach slowly. We call that beach drift. So we have our beach drift going on here, and then in the water, what we have going on is we have sediment being moved underneath the water in the same general direction by the same sort of process. We're not really able to see this as much, but that's our longshore current. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to label these as well. And this one is longshore current. Okay, so now I have a bay, I have longshore current, beach drift, everything's moving from left to right across this beach. And now I'm going to put in some of these structures that are designed to control or to prevent beach erosion. So let's start with this bay here. This bay has an inlet. And we want to keep this inlet opened. So boats might want to come into this inlet. We want to make sure it doesn't all get clogged up with sediment, because this sand is just going to keep moving and choke off that inlet if we don't do anything. So we're going to put in a couple of structures that are perpendicular to the shoreline on each side of the inlet. One is going to look like this. One is going to look like this. And we're hoping in this way to keep this inlet opened. However, what's going to happen is, because the beach drift and longshore current is this way, we're going to have an accumulation of sand here. And I'll just put in a couple dots, and then I'll kind of trace where that accumulation will take place. So we're going to get accumulation of sand here, and we're actually going to get erosion of sand back in this area here. And I'll just put in erosion by kind of diagonal lines here. So that this area is going to get eroded away. This area is going to get deposited. So more beach for people coming here. They can stand on the jetty. They can look at the beach or walk across the beach to the jetty. And hopefully this inlet will stay open so people can come in and out of the bay here. Ships can come in and out of the bay. On this side here, let's put in some, and these would probably be smaller. These things are kind of major engineering things, you know, people, they're big constructions, but we're going to put in some smaller structures over here that are just designed to hold the sand in place at particular areas. We're going to get the same kind of pattern here. We're going to get deposition on one side of each of these and erosion on the other side. Deposition, erosion, deposition, and erosion. And people will come to the beach here, and they'll probably more likely where there's more sand, put up their beach umbrellas. And these structures that are called groins are helping to hold the sand in place. So let's go back and label some of these. So we have our jetties here, and usually those occur in pairs, and they're designed to keep inlets open. So that's exactly what these jetties are doing. And these things over here have a different name. They're called groins. So we have two structures here that are designed to prevent shoreline erosion or hold the sand in a particular place or influence the transportation of sand, however we want to think about that. And that is the jetties and the groins. And now let's add a couple of other ones on this side over here. The first one I'm going to add occurs out in the water, and it's typically either parallel to the shoreline or almost parallel to the shoreline. I'll kind of put it in like a little edge on it maybe. And this is just like a wall of material that is occurring in the water, and it's specifically designed so the boats behind this wall are protected. So this structure is taking up the brunt of the breaking waves in this area here, and behind it is a small area of protected water. That's called a breakwater. And the other structure is a much more bigger structure, much bigger than a beach umbrella or a jetty or even a breakwater. And that is if we have an entire city back here. I'll just put on some roads really quickly to indicate this is a city. So here's some city blocks here, big areas. And plenty of houses here, people who paid a lot of money for their beachfront or near beach property want to keep that protected. So they care so much about this that they're going to put in a structure right on the beach. It's going to be a giant wall. So this is going to be a giant wall. This will be the top of the wall here. And this is just designed to bear the brunt of this and protect whatever is behind it. In this case, this little town here, so that it's not, so that they're not at risk from having giant waves and storm surges break against and move right into their community and flood their community with coastal flooding. So we've added two new structures to the map. I'll go ahead and label these now. This is called a seawall here, and this one over here is called a breakwater. So the breakwater is used to create protected water behind the breakwater for us, primarily for ships, and the seawall is designed to protect the community from either breaking waves or storm surges. And that's it.